Hey guys, welcome. This is Brad Krentz. Thanks so much for joining me on my Monday morning leadership today. Today, I'm going to share my observations on 8 qualities of an effective leader. Okay, so I want to say, first off, happy Labor Day to everyone. We took a week break. We were over in Boise looking for some homes last week. But remember, 2 weeks ago, I looked at the habit of going the extra mile. So as we think about our work and our work ethic, and going the extra mile, I want to ask a question. Why is it important for a leader to be effective? Okay. Well, I'll give you 2 reasons here. One's kind of a 30,000-foot view. Effective leaders are important because they create confidence among their team or their organization. And that in turn also encourages a professional and positive environment. So I think that's kind of a nice, maybe sanitary definition there. But John Maxwell says this, and again, I'm a big fan of John Maxwell. I like him. He says, being a great leader is all about having a genuine willingness and a true commitment to lead others and to achieve a common vision and goals through positive influence. And he said, no leader can ever achieve anything great or long lasting all alone. And we got to keep that in mind as I go forward today. So teamwork really goes hand in hand with leadership. Leadership is about people and for people. So let's never forget that. That's a really important point. Okay, so with that, let's briefly look at the 8 qualities of an effective leader that I put together. I'm just going to kind of share some of my thoughts, my insight from my experience in that. But first and foremost, and I did this specifically, I said an effective leader demonstrates integrity. Okay, why is that? Well, integrity is the linchpin of leadership qualities. I've said this before. Leaders who demonstrate integrity kind of really garner trust among their colleagues, right? They aren't afraid of the truth and they stand up for what they believe. Dwight Eisenhower, late president, said it this way. He said, the supreme quality for leadership is unquestionable integrity. And without it, no real success is possible, no matter whether it is on a section gang, a football field, in an army, or in an office. And I think he's spot on with that, guys. Everything kind of is an outflow, I believe, of integrity. If you lack integrity, these other qualities are going to be lacking, right? Or they're going to be secondary in nature. They're going to be phony, right? So integrity is really where it all starts for a leader, okay? Then secondly, they share their vision. A leader with vision has a clear idea of where they want to go, how they want to get there and what success looks like, right? When we were going to Boise, we had a map. We knew what road, freeways and that we were going to go on to get there, right? We weren't just out driving around hoping we got there. But in one of my last Monday morning leaderships, I talked about the success formula, okay? And I noted from Michael Hyatt, his book, The Vision-Driven Leader, he states that vision is an essential ingredient for successful leadership. There's no substitute. Vision is a clear, inspiring, practical, and attractive picture of your team, or your organization's future. It's an act of seeing the future. But it's also important to note, again, a vision is not a guarantee, right? Plenty of visions fail, right? But having no vision is a certain guarantee of failure. So you've got to have a vision. Next is lead by example. Again, this kind of, I think, maybe builds on what I've said. Again, lead by example. I want to follow somebody that has integrity, right? So lead by example, I could probably just say this, I'll say this a couple times, is be the leader that you want to follow. So leaders lead by example, right? You set the example. You're a person of integrity, of character, of wisdom, of vision, somebody people can trust. So if leaders lead by example, they set the example in all the things that I'm going to talk about here, right? But again, if you don't have integrity, I don't think these other qualities are necessarily going to come forth. They're going to be really true or honest. But first, you've got to lead by example. Again, probably the best thing, we've all heard this proverb, and you don't want to do this. Do what I say, not what I do, right? That's not leading by example, right? That's bad leadership. So lead by example is a leader won't do something that they tell somebody to do something they haven't done before. They will help somebody do it. They set the example again with their integrity, their honesty, their work ethic, all these things I'm talking about. But if you're going to lead by example, and be careful what example you set. And then we got to talk about they communicate effectively. If you're going to be an effective leader or have an effective leadership, you got to communicate effectively. And this gets back into the servant leadership, which I'm a firm believer of. Some people blow it off or it's overblown or hyped. I don't think it is, guys. You can have that attitude. I don't. But effective communication really, again, is going to require listening and empathy, right? You got to be able to listen to what somebody says. And I think to really do that, you have to have empathy for them. Otherwise, it can get into kind of the proverbial, yeah, I'm talking to you or you're talking to me, and it's going in one ear and it's coming out the other, right? You don't want to do that. So listening requires empathy. And I think that's the start of being able to communicate effectively. I'm not doing a deep dive on these. There's a lot more that could be said. And then hard decisions. Leaders have to make hard decisions. We're making a hard decision in moving. Had to make some hard decisions about finances and changing financial planners and that here a few years ago. Those are tough decisions. Maybe with COVID, leaders have to make hard decisions about who to keep, who to let go. Do we keep the doors open? There's a host of hard decisions out there, but being an effective leader, you have to make hard decisions. You've got integrity, you lead by example, but when the buck stops here, a leader has to make hard decisions. Sometimes they're not fun. You wish you didn't have to make them, like if you had to lay somebody off or let somebody go, but you've got to make hard decisions. Okay. That's how you can be effective in leadership. And then another big one that John Maxwell's quote kind of referred to is recognize success, right? Leadership is a team thing. You've got a team or an organization, business employees that you're leading. Recognize their success, right? You didn't get there on your own. I don't believe there's any such thing as a self-made person. Nobody gets successful on their own, whether it's in politics, business, sports, whatever. You had help, you had coaching, you had mentorship. So recognize success. If a teammate performs well, helps you reach a goal, or you hit a company milestone or something like that, recognize that success, guys. It's really important to recognize those that have helped you along your way and not try to take all the credit. Because again, we're back to number one, integrity. If you have integrity, you do not take all the credit. Recognize others' successes. And then this is a big one. This is a big one for me. Effective leadership requires that a leader empowers others. And this was huge for me 3 years ago when I left the company I was working for, because there were some bad things happening with leadership. There was a real lack of leadership throughout the whole organization. But when I started talking about leadership because it was my passion. I realized I'd read John Maxwell's The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, the law of the lid, number one. I saw that take place. And I said, I want to step up and start talking about leadership because it's lacking. I've seen it lacking. I saw it lacking in my last company. But I was empowered by people like Val Campbell, like Adam Reeker, saying, Brad, you really know what you're talking about. You're doing a great job. You're doing some great stuff. And I'm not saying I'm the best leadership teacher out there. I just could point to a number of other people, John Maxwell being one, but leaders empower others, right? Leadership isn't just a solo journey, right? One of the traits of effective leaders in empowering others, you create other leaders. So empowering others gives other people the ability to fail and learn and succeed on their own. So you let other people take leadership of their role, their job, their position, whatever, and empower them to do that. You can't micromanage. I think micromanagement's the opposite of empowering. Nobody likes, certainly I don't like to be micromanaged, but give other people, empower them to do the best that they can in the role they're in. That's how you as a leader can help empower others, recognize their talents and lean on them. Again, it's a team game. Don't try to think you've got it all because you've been this company owner for so long. You've got an MBA and you've got this and that. You still need other people. Smart leaders hire people smarter than them and then let them do their job. And then motivate and inspire. Again, I think all these things lumped together. If you've got integrity, you're an effective communicator, you listen, you have empathy, you lead by example, you're empowering, you're going to motivate and inspire others. Again, this just goes back to be the leader that you would follow. I would follow somebody that demonstrates integrity, that sets a good example, that helps empower me. So leaders also, to be effective, you've got to motivate and inspire people, right? If you're bad leadership, you're unmotivating and uninspiring, and that's not a good environment to be in. So I hope these tips or these observations on these qualities have helped. That's what I got for you today, guys, on this Labor Day edition of Monday Morning Leadership. Hey, I'd love to get your feedback or input on this. What did you like? What could have been added? What did I miss? I encourage you to implement these qualities so that you can be the most effective leader that you can be. Lead by example. Be the leader that you would follow, guys. Have an awesome Labor Day Monday. Bye-bye.